Welcome, welcome. We are live. We are live. We are live. How's
Woo!
everyone doing?
Good. We are live. Yes.
Yes. Um, we changed the format a little bit. We wanted to expand the topics that we could touch on. We wanted to touch on, more current events. We wanted to talk about, just everything under the sun, including relationships. So we come here and basically nothing but answers, because we're going to give you nothing but what we feel are the answers, right? not saying that they're right. They're saying they're right for us.
Okay? Our answers.
They're definitely right for us. So we're going to start off by introducing ourselves, because we have a lot of new people that are joining the stream. And we're really thankful that it really is taking off well. We have a lot of people. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start with, to my right, in the screen, to me, is Doc. Hey, Doc, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am Dr. Carissa Ferguson Thomas. You can call me Dr. Carissa. Like Daryl said, we're trying something new. We're going to step out of the box of relationships, and we're here to give you answers. A lot of times you see people do these things and they just talk about the problems. So we talk about the problems, but we also want to give you something to walk away with. We're going to try. Right. We're going to try, but we also want your involvement. We want you to call in. Daryl put the number in the link in the group. We want you to call in, talk to us, give us your answers. So,
right.
We want to make this we want to make
interactive
this
as possible.
well-rounded. Yes, we want to have discussions with you guys.
Wonderful.
Okay, and we have the lovely Neil Ruth down the bottom. To me, she's on the bottom, but how are you doing?
I'll take that. Okay, thank you for that wonderful intro, Daryl. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that one, but anyway, I'm Ruth Lee, otherwise known as Neil, as Daryl has said, and most of my friends, long-term friends, know me as Neil. It's part of my lineage, if you will. But anyway, happy to be here, happy to be trying something new with these wonderful, talented folks. And as they've already said, we need your participation. Engagement is everything. We need you. We need you to write in. We need you to give us ideas. We need you to debate some of our answers and tell us about yours and why yours might be standing out. So I'm looking forward to it. Good time every Friday, making Fridays exciting.
That's what we do. So it was a tough transition, because we did it. Relationship Flow was really good. Our last show was really good. We spent a lot of time with that, right? And we built a little community there, and we hope they follow us over here as well. But we had fun. It was great. I learned a lot, but we just want to expand that and take that on the road. And again, we are a solution-based show. We're here to kind of give what we feel are solutions. Okay. Again, you may not agree, and it's okay. I'll tell you why you're wrong. That's what I'm here to do. Okay.
Please, if you disagree, call in. Please write in. Tell Daryl he's wrong. Please.
We could use the support, right?
Right. So, and that's a new feature we have. We do have a Zoom that's connected to this, and you won't be seen on screen, but you can definitely hit the Zoom, and you can talk to us, give us your opinions, give us your thoughts, and answer and ask any questions you may have. That's something new we're trying out. So please, definitely call in. We would like to hear your voices. If not, any comment you have will definitely be read. We would respond to the best of our abilities. And we're here to help you grow. Again, I have all the answers. So nothing but answers. That's all I have is answers for you.
Answers for some questions you don't even ask.
Don't even know that you have. Gotta love it.
Leave it to Daryl.
Again, if I don't have the answer, sometimes I just make them up. It's okay. I will give you an answer.
Oh, I love it.
So, but it's definitely, I a great change. And like I said, a lot of people have already connected with us, which is great. This was a tough week because we really were grinding, trying to get everything ready for today.
And
so much going on. Yeah, so much going on behind the scenes, wires and emails and checks. We're up 3-4 at night. Hey, Doc, what do this? And Neil, do this. And it's crazy. And we really have to work at night. We have to work at night because some people don't get up till 12. So.
Oh, I wonder who that is. Lazy.
And we also have a YouTube channel called Nothing But Answers. So please go to the channel, like, subscribe, watch the videos.
Yes.
If you don't get to see them, definitely check them out on the replay.
Right.
Get people up.
So we're going to actually finish up our last topic, which we were going to talk about parenting from Relationship Flow. We're going to actually finish that up. You know, we want to talk, parenting is so different these days from what we've known. So I hear a lot of people complaining about. Say again.
And what we've been taught.
Right.
True. It's really different. I think it's really more hands off these days. Like it's not, you know, definitely any type of corporal punishment is really looked at as really, really bad. And I think sometimes some people are attributing to the kids, you know, lack of motivation, their entitledness and all that to that. I don't really necessarily agree, but what are some effective ways of parenting? What do we have here?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the parenting styles. We know there are four main styles. Those are the authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. And authoritarian is the my way or highway kind of parent. They don't take the kids' needs or wants or feelings into consideration. That's how a lot of us were raised, I'm sure. From back in the day, children should be seen and not heard.
Yes.
You know? And what opinion? You don't have an opinion.
Right. Well, you'll be heard when you catch that uppercut.
Exactly. Be heard screaming out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty old school. You know.
Right. Where the kids had no opinion. You didn't talk to them about anything. You didn't apologize to them if you were wrong. Like you said, it's just your way.
You didn't really explain things to them. It's just laid out facts. This is what you do and this is what you follow. That's it.
Why? Because I said so.
Yes. But yeah, that's one of the regular answers of an authoritarian parent, because I said so.
That's it.
Very interesting.
Do what I tell you to do.
And then, so did these move to from in the way you read them? Did it start like more authoritarian? Did it actually move to now the whatever next?
The uninvolved.
And always uninvolved. That's the
always the uninvolved.
Yeah.
And let's just look at uninvolved before we do the two in the middle. You don't know much about your kids. You don't know where they are, what they're doing. There's hardly any rules, and there's no guidance. We see that a lot.
Right.
We see that
and
a
no
lot.
supervision. No supervision.
No supervision.
None. You
can ask somebody, "What do you know where your kid's at?" I don't know. He's supposed to be at Johnny house.
So,
but you didn't even check.
Could the uninvolved parent? So, are they also like they don't care what the kid do? So, there's no punishment or anything.
Yes.
Yes, I think so. No consequences for behaviors because they don't know what the behaviors are. They don't even know what they're doing.
But are some, so I don't know, this is what I'm thinking, can maybe be overlap, but are there some uninvolved parents who are authoritarian in like, you know what I mean? Like they do what I say. They don't really care what you, like they're not really up on
possible.
You. You know what I'm saying? They're not really up on you.
They can set the rules and say this is what's supposed to happen, but then they don't even get involved to check and see if these things are happening anyway.
Right. Then when something goes wrong, they just go off.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
like I'm not, the reason the kid is not really following what you said, because you're not really involved. Like you just give these arbitrary rules.
Yes.
And then when they break them, you know, the school call, what they fail in school, now you want to beat them. But you really haven't been involved. You haven't been involved with the homework. You haven't checked what they do. The kid comes and kind of goes. So it's you know, you want to have these rules that you, because I think parents want to act like their parents, right? They want to say, well, I told them they shouldn't do that. But you're not doing any follow through. There's nothing in between to make sure the child is doing it. I mean, you putting rules in and not really enforcing them is not helping the child. You can't just enforce them every time they break the rule. Then you want to go up top. That doesn't make sense.
I think you're right. I think there's a combination for that.
I mean, it could be. It could be one way.
I think there is. There are models like that. There are definitely models
Right.
like that. Mm-hmm.
With permissive, you're more like your kid's friend, or you want to be your kid's friend. So you might set rules as a permissive parent, but then you don't enforce them, or you give in too easy. You might say, "Well, I'm gonna put you on. You're on punishment for a week," and then the kid is outside the same day.
Something wrong with that?
Is that what you do,
Daryl?
Didn't know that was the problem.
Or taking their phone and then they have it right back.
Okay, let me write this down. Can't give
Write
it
it down.
right back. Okay. Goodness gracious. It's tough when they give you them puppy dog eyes. Like, what? They will do it again. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we've all been there.
The only problem with that is the kids don't respect your authority after a while, because what you say means nothing.
Absolutely. And I do believe it's a lot of punk parents these days. And punk in a way is meaning that we're just soft. You know, we're not really hard. We want to give our kids everything that we didn't have. We don't want to be too hard on them, you know, and it does lead to what you're saying, where you start invalidating your own words, because they know I'm getting in trouble, but I'm gonna get that phone back in 10 minutes anyway. So
yes.
I can do 10 minutes.
Yes, I can do 10 minutes standing on my head.
That's it.
Right. I get it.
And so you know, ultimately you have no authority, you know, because the kid is like, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
I can basically do what I want to do anyway, because
you're not doing anything.
I can do 10 minutes.
Right. The little punk punishments. I know.
And we should never set those rules that we can't enforce anyway, or won't enforce with our kids. Kids look for that. They look for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But idle threats. Anytime you do something, once you do it once, you know, it becomes like the slot machine theory. Like they might hit gold again, so they can keep pressing that button. Yeah. Cause I'm like, well, we know she's gonna let me, you know, or he gonna let me out, or they're gonna forget about it and let me go back outside. Right.
And that idle threat is important too, because I hear parents say things like, "If you take that, I'm gonna chop your hands off." You're not gonna do that. So stop saying like that. Stop making friends you know you're not gonna carry through.
That's true.
Well, little Timmy coming to school the next day with no hands, you know. I did it again.
Hey, I'm gonna beat the black off of you. Really? Is that possible?
You might try, but
right.
Yeah. You got to be careful with those words and those idle threats, because kids they look for it. They look for the holes in it, and they use it for the next time. Like when I would take away games from my kid when he was younger, from not doing what he was supposed to be doing, and he'd sneak and go use them, until I got wise to that, and I put the stuff in the trunk and took it out with me. So you got to be ready to up that threat, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point, Facebook user. It is a lot of times where the friends are more important to them. They fear the friends or respect the friends' words or values more than they do the parents. That is.
And that is especially true in adolescence. That is, you know, that's just the appropriate, if you will, you know, for that stage. You know,
okay.
In that stage, their peers are much more important. Those are the opinions they value more than the parents.
Wow.
Now, as far as
what's the last one?
The last one is authoritative. That's where you use rules and consequences appropriately, and you take your children's opinions and feelings into account.
Okay, so that would be the most appropriate way of parenting.
That's the ideal, right?
Ideal way of parenting.
Yeah, where you give your kids choices, you allow them to develop their own independence and power, which is something that a lot of parents have a hard time with.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Like
again,
power.
sometimes,
Why my kids need power?
or why do I have to apologize to my children and these type of things? But I do know that it's very important to hear if you do something wrong to apologize, and because you're teaching kids things, right? You're teaching them how to act, and a lot of times we model behavior. So if we're modeling something, then the kid is more inept to do it than not. You know, like you never say sorry when you lie to me.
Yes.
You said you're gonna cut my hands off.
Yeah.
Still got them.
Yes. So I agree with Neil when you said that you have to kind of watch.
Yes.
And see how you say things.
Be mindful.
Be mindful because they will take that and run with it
and use it against you.
Right. And I think parenting is very, like I said, it's tough today because with all the information out there and kids are getting so much information, I think they're almost taking their own power. Right? They're like, do it if you want, and I'm gonna call CPS. I'm gonna call the cops. So it does. Now parents have to kind of think, like, if I do something, will they really do it? Do I want to have this nonsense for me just trying to discipline my kid and then, making this call? So now kids are really getting away with murder sometimes because of the parents' fear of actually parenting their children.
But I wonder how much of that comes from a parent who's been uninvolved now trying to parent and the kid is like pushing back. I wonder if it's more, those situations are more likely because of that kind of parenting style as opposed to someone who's always let their child have a voice and who's, had appropriate rules and consequences for the child.
Well, I think we kind of say what you said, at a certain point, the kids are naturally going to buck, right? So then if you have to, depending on what it is that you're doing and they don't like it and they talking to their friends, they're like, you can't do that. If they do that, you can do this, call this person. And now you have a whole issue because it's like there's so much knowledge and these kids are talking and they, with the world getting smaller because of that little device in your hand, they can talk to people all over the world and they have these conversations with different people who have different backgrounds, who have different information. And now the kid is being armed with ways to get around. Oh, what? She ain't feed you tonight? Can't do that. I'm going to do this. Or, whatever the case may be. And even the kids sometimes not really understanding whatever they're getting in, and they'll still say something. They can still say, I'm going to call CPS. It may be idle threat, but it still now makes you kind of move a little. It may make some parents move a little differently.
Yes.
Right? It does. I do think with the some of the things that are put in place, it does affect parenting.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, she didn't feed you tonight. Call the people.
Right. Right. Kids kind of really know a lot. And I don't know what it is. I mean, like, kids are very entitled today. Right? They're very entitled. A lot of conversation I'm having, especially with a lot of fathers, like, what do I do? I can't do anything. The kids just won't do anything. They're lazy. They just want to sit in the room all day. Even if you take their stuff, it's not a big deal. It's really difficult to get through to them. And I'm like, it is. I see these kids. And a lot of it is, like I said, because a lot of it, I think, kind of what Doc said, kind of you didn't do some things in the beginning. You let some things go in the beginning. And now they're kind of conditioned. If you weren't cleaning your room in the beginning, now you're at 10, like, try to start getting them to clean that room, it's going to be a lot tougher.
Very true.
I do talk to parents who are like, well, let's think about what did you do to, contribute to this child being the way they are, right? Like you said, it's probably some steps were missed. Because again, it's no parenting book for dummies. I don't know. There's no exact way. My daughter didn't come with instructions. Okay?
I looked for
I don't
them
know.
too. I didn't have them.
Yeah.
I looked.
I was like, doctor,
I
she sent
checked
me
the
home without a
diaper,
box and instructions.
everything.
No box or instructions. It was crazy.
Nope.
So we're all kind of learning on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
That is truth. We're learning on the fly. And it can be difficult, but that's why I think we do have to look for resources. I try to read as much as I can, look for new things, try new things, that different styles of things to work, because it's tough. It is tough.
And you're right, Daryl. We some of us can take the position of we help create those little monsters, because when they're doing certain little things at 4 and 5, and some of us are saying, oh, that's cute, she'll grow out of it.
Right.
They're not going to stay 4 and 5. So when they're 11, 12, and 13 and they're doing the same thing back at you, it's not so cute. So you have to start early on. I've always said that to my friends, like, it may be cute now, but it may not be cute in 5 years. So really think about what it is you're allowing and creating those monsters, so to speak. Yeah.
Right. And it's definitely not going to be cute at school when they do it to the teacher.
It's never cute at school.
Less authority than you have.
Coming from a teacher, yes.
Coming from a teacher, it is never cute. We are sending them back to you immediately.
Right. And it's tough because you can't. You have to deal with that 1 or 2 students in your class that are acting up, disrupting the whole class, which is now everybody can't learn because you're chasing man, and peaches around the whole class.
You are so right.
And the parents are home chilling, talk about they the school problem now.
Exactly.
Listen.
Call them in the middle of the day to come and correct your child, and they're upset with you.
Right.
Can't win that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then what's a correction look like? I come up there and correct them how? What I'm going to do?
Right.
Tell them not to do it?
Some parents, you need them to sit right there next to them, if you ask me, in the classroom and see what's happening.
Right.
Yes. Because they don't believe it when you tell it to them. They don't always believe it. Yeah.
I found that so hard when I was doing the therapy and evaluations in the schools. It was so hard to get the parents up there.
It's very hard.
So hard.
Very hard.
Parents that lived in a neighborhood because the kids walked to school. Exactly. And they would be home.
This is your break, okay? This is your break. You got a 6-hour break. You know what I mean? You got to worry about them eating, where they're at, what they're doing. People say we're going to sleep during that time.
You work all week putting together a nice parent back to school night, and you're looking to share with the parents what the kids are doing, and you have 2 parents out of 30. It's like, where are you?
Right.
Nope. Very hard. Very hard.
But I think it goes to show the participation of some of these parents in the child's life.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I'm not necessarily going to. I think bad parenting is, at the end of the day, the reason for these negative behaviors and things of that nature. Because you can have a single parent home that they can do a great job, right? Just because homes are broken or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean that your participation with the kid has to reflect that. So it's very interesting.
That's true. That's true.
Right, because I really think it's just about a parenting style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even when parents are broken up, I have seen some examples of great parenting.
Yes.
Great parenting relationships, even though the couples are no longer together. So it is possible, but a lot of times people don't foster those kind of relationships where they're parenting well together once the relationship is over.
Right. So I did, I think we talked about it last week or whatever, but I did see a study that did say the lack of the father in the child's life does really lead to more trouble. They said if you have if the family stays together, most likely the child won't go. I put the stats right now, like 70% of the children won't go to jail or get in major trouble. In a single parent mother home, there were the highest rates of children going to jail. And a single parent father home, the numbers reflected the home staying together, a dual home. So the home with just the man alone, it seemed 7% of the children did not go to jail. That's what the study was saying.
Hmm.
So it goes to show maybe that it's something that a man has to be involved with his children really to help to really kind of secure success by the numbers. That's what the numbers are saying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not saying moms are doing a bad job or anything, but it just said that that's what the numbers stated.
I wonder if that's correlated at all with, the fact that if it's a single mom and she's working, she has to work so much harder and so much longer to make the kind of money a man might make having one job. So, he might have more opportunity to be around as opposed to a mom working a couple of jobs and only come in when the kids are asleep, and when in the morning she's out again.
And those latchkey kids that have to raise themselves because of that.
I don't know. I think it may be something with that male figure. I know even working in the school, behavioral school I worked in, when we'd have a class, when a male was in the class, it just responded differently. They responded differently to the male, right? And it's not that the woman was doing anything wrong or anything. It's just a difference of response that is given when there's a male there as opposed to not. So I think it's something about the presence, maybe. I don't know what it exactly is, but there's something there. So, but I know the lack of it actually leads to trouble, because even when they talked about the bio family staying together, it didn't talk about, like you said, the schedules or who was home more, who did more, whatever. It didn't say any of that. It just said that if they both were there, 70% of the kids did not go to jail. And if it was only a father, 70% of the children did not go to jail. The higher rates were just single mother. So I really, because again, even a single parent father home, he would probably have to do the same thing to mother if he had to work more jobs or whatever the case may be. I don't think it would be any different in the struggle of, how to take care of the kid or what you have to do to get it done.
Right. Right.
But it's very interesting. I do wish I would like to know more about the study. I'll look into it more to see exactly.
Sounds interesting.
So we know the types of parenting. Then the types of things in that parenting, corporal punishment. And we're not even talking about necessarily hitting the kid. How about holding a book in a corner, kneeling on rice?
Wow, we're going military on them.
Right?
Well, so what I've learned is some of these things are cultural.
Okay.
Right? Some of these things are cultural and they're carried through culture, and it's not looked at as a negative thing. It's like, we see it like, oh, that's crazy. But some people, this is normal. This is what they did or do. This is an appropriate form of discipline, and then when
I was watching a show, I can't remember what it was, where the young lady was talking about the discipline of leaning on rice, and she had like rice embedded in her knees. Just kneeled on the rice for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what happens a lot. I know a lot of times when people come, to, let's say, America from different places, and they're doing what they've been doing, and then the kid goes to school and learns or says something, and it's like, well, you can't do that. And then, you may have a CPS or something because now you're doing something that you don't look at as corporal punishment. It's
right.
Punishment. So then it gets into like, well, what's right and what's wrong? How do you disseminate and tell someone this is wrong? And I guess I know each state has its different laws. So you do need to know the laws in each state of what you can do and can't do, what's allowable, what's not allowable. Those type of things. But I for me, I don't believe in any type of hitting, embarrassment. I'm not really. See, sometimes they'll send a kid to school with a haircut that's crazy.
Yes, I've seen those.
Old man haircut.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? In the parenting classes we used to do a long time ago, we would talk about natural consequences. So things like if your child repeatedly doesn't get up for school in the morning, you wake them up 5 different times and they're late every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you initiate something like, hey, we're leaving this house at 8:00. I don't care what state you're in, we are leaving. And so kids go to school in their pajamas, their slippers, their hair not done, stuff like that. Of course, you want to talk about it with the school authorities so they don't call the people on you.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, you want to let them know what you're doing at home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we talk about the natural consequences of your behaviors. If you're not going to be responsible, this is how you have to show up.
Wow.
Once your friends laugh at you a few times, you'll get up in the morning and get yourself together before we leave out the house.
Huh.
You know what? I don't see a problem with that. That to me is a little different because that's something they kind of, like you brought on yourself. We're leaving at 7:30.
Right.
I woke up early enough. 7:30 we're leaving. So however you are, we're going. And I think that will teach them a lesson because that's about them. I told you to get up 4 times. You're not ready yet. I can't get you. Okay, let's go. Stop crying.
Yeah,
let's
go.
Get your jacket.
Stop crying.
Get your jacket.
Get your coat. Let's go.
You should have done that as a parent.
You wasn't crying when you was playing around this morning, not getting dressed, was you? Yes, we're gonna hear all that.
I should have definitely done that as a parent a few times, but I think I always thought as a parent that's going to be a reflection on me.
That's what happens.
That's right.
That's what happens. Yes, that's what happens with
they knew that. They knew I cared too much about that.
Yes,
Right.
and kids know when you care too much.
Yes, they did, and they played me with it too.
Very interesting. And the kids know. They know. They're master manipulators. Master manipulators. You understand me?
That was something. Yes.
So yeah, but other than that, I can't see, like for me, I can't see me hitting a kid. That's just weird to me.
So I was looking up these different definitions of discipline, consequences, punishment, and it what I found, it says that punishment is about just inflicting suffering on someone for a past behavior. Gotcha. So it's to impose authority or harm, and the motivation is about the need for control. And I think a lot of times as parents, we feel like we have to control our children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to just disciplining them and teaching them how to be responsible people.
Right.
For themselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's why and that's just tough sometimes, making sure whatever the consequence is. That's why you even use the word consequence, because punishment does just sound, a consequence that they're going to learn from. And I'm not trying to hurt their feelings, but I want them to learn from it. It's not to, you don't want to embarrass them. Like that's why I said I can't see me send them with a haircut, but I can see me letting them go to school because this is what you did. You didn't get dressed. You didn't do your hair. That okay, cool. Now you gotta go to school. That's something on you. And that should, and to me, because I think they can learn from that. They're like, look, I'm gonna make sure I get up tomorrow. I'm gonna get up extra early because I ain't going there looking crazy anymore.
Right.
Right. Or whatever the case may be. So I do like that. See, I learned something. I like that.
Sorry, Zariana. I'm sorry.
I'm not fighting with you to get up no more. You don't want to get up? Okay. Just know we're leaving at 7:00.
I wish I had known about that.
Right. I don't care if you didn't brush your teeth and there's white stuff in your eye. Let's go. 7:00. The bus leave. It'll wait for no one.
Wow.
Yeah, from what I hear from parents, it only takes a couple times.
Yes, I would think so.
Listen, I think that makes sense. It definitely reflects what's going on.
Yeah,
and it's on them. It's on you. So if you want to keep going to school this way, okay, right? Have at it. If you want to keep doing it, have at it. The more you like it, I love it. Keep going. Eventually, you'll get tired of people talking about you in pajamas, or you getting sent home because you're out of uniform. Because you out of uniform. My daughter, she got a uniform. So you go to school in pajamas.
You're getting a demerit or something, yeah.
Right. So then they're gonna call me and be like, "Well, look, y'all do what you gotta do. I'm not picking her up."
This advice is 20 years too late for me, man. Drake, let's do a do-over, Drake.
Yes,
many mornings.
So we talk about consequences where you're actually teaching something. So like
Right.
the punishment
Okay.
is just the end of what happened.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
But consequences, you're teaching something for the future for them.
Got it. Mhm.
Right.
Makes
So
sense.
I know growing up, I would take the punishment because
Mhm.
whatever that was, I know
over
I can get
fast.
over that.
It's over
Right,
and
right.
done. Yep.
Like, all right, go ahead, get your punches that kicks in.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going back outside. All right,
Oh.
going back outside.
I didn't want the punishments. I didn't want
I got a couple uppercuts, and then you can go back outside. A consequence would be something, like you said, something that really now I gotta sit here and oh goodness, whatever the case may be.
Gotta learn something.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta learn something. Nobody want to
And
learn.
apply it later. Exactly.
Yeah, one of the things that we would also talk about is practice.
Mm.
So, for example, if you have a kid that comes in the house and throws their coat on the floor every day, what you would do is have them come in and hang it up 50 times, 10, 20 times, whatever you can stand as a parent to stand there and watch.
Huh.
So, and that's the key. That's what I learned. That's the key.
Yes.
So for Zoria, I'm very consistent. If you're
Yes.
consistent, they'll be consistent. I remember when she was young, she would never go near the steps. I don't care how old she was. She just knew. Every time, no, don't go. Every time, no. It wouldn't be one time I would let her get one finger on that step.
Okay.
I would tell her no. So I remember my sister was there like, well, my daughter's like, your daughter won't go near it. Because every time she knows at this point, there's no point to even do it because he's going to come over here and move you. So, but like Doc said, it's about how invested we are in breaking that habit.
Yeah.
So you got to, like I said, every time they come in, hey, where's it go? Hey, got it every day. And you can't say they should know because they don't know. I hate when people say they should know better. Obviously, they don't know better. They're still doing it. You should know better. You should know they don't know. You're the problem.
Consistency. And that's
Right,
where it
because-
breaks down oftentimes because the parent gets
Right.
wore down before the kid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
That's
Yes.
the punk parenting,
Punk parenting.
right? You can't expect more out of them than you do out of yourself because you're the parent.
Yes.
They're looking to you to model.
That's right.
So
That's right.
once you don't do it, they're like, well, you don't even do it.
Right.
It was 4 days last week that I threw my jacket on the ground and you said nothing. Now you want to say something? You're the problem.
I was tired.
Right. But that's the tough part about it. And again, at the end of the day, they didn't ask to be here.
You can't
So-
you can't get tired as a parent. You cannot.
Well, again, you didn't have to have them, okay?
True.
So you can't now, not do your duties because you're tired. Well, you should have went to sleep at night, and you wouldn't be in this predicament.
True.
So
Well,
at that
parents-
point, then
A lot of parents really are tired because whether it be that they have so many children to deal with, that's another
fault?
aspect.
whose fault is it?
I hear you, but that is another reality.
Yeah.
There's more than
It
one or
could
two
be
that you have
whatever,
to
yo.
watch. What was that?
Hey, listen, if you mad you got all these kids, who you mad at?
I didn't say mad. I said tired.
hey, listen. If you can't keep up with something, you shouldn't be doing it. Can't have all these kids out here.
I'm
now they
just
out here
saying
being
reality,
terrorists.
yes, but that is
Yeah,
another
yeah,
aspect.
now
If you
you-
have 4 or 5
now-
children, it's very hard to stand there and watch one hang up their jacket 80 times. You have to go cook dinner. You have to go shopping. You've got other stuff going on.
You got
Again,
other
you
kids
should
that
have
need
thought
to
about
be
this.
cleaning up their rooms, doing their homework.
And I agree,
Hey.
Daryl, which is why I had 2 children 7 years apart. But you've got to make those decisions.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, I mean, again, I can't even allow that rationale to go on because you had these children.
It's not a rationale.
You did it.
It's a reality.
No, you're rationalizing nonsense. You're like, I'm tired because I got 4 kids. Because you got 4 kids? What? Stop it. See, that's the punk parenting mentality. That's it. They're trying to make excuses for why they can't raise their kids. Now I can't go to Philly because their kids out there wilding out right now.
True talk.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of punk parents now. There's a whole bunch of kids out here where I can't even go to get an ice cream in Philly
you can't.
after 2 o'clock in the afternoon because it's crazy,
That's true. Real talk.
right? And that's so. As I said, and you're right, Ruth. There are a lot of people that probably feel that way, and I'm sorry because my kid, but they're your kids.
They are your kids.
Nobody told you to have them. The kids didn't ask to be here, right? So again, we do have to be tougher because this new generation of kids is crazy.
They're tough.
They're just lawless.
They
don't care. Like schools, I see videos in school all the time. These kids are doing whatever. I went to Camden High, and every time I go there, kids are coming in. A whole bunch of kids are coming to school. I don't care what time I could be coming 2:00. Kids is getting there. Okay, don't understand it. It's crazy. More kids in the hall than in the classroom.
Wow.
Crazy. Okay. I like this is not safe.
I very rarely get to see the kids going into the school, but last week as I was heading into my office, I saw kids going into a middle school, and one of the girls was visibly pregnant. It's like, oh wow!
In
middle
middle
was
school,
still happening. Middle school. Middle school. Going into the middle school.
Wow.
With her little book bag on, because I said maybe it's a parent.
Right.
But she had her book bag on.
Wow. Well, it's tough because what we also compete with today is social media.
Yes.
Right. Social media is raising a lot of children. Like before we had TV, but it was like cartoons, right?
Yes.
You sit the kid in front of the TV, it's cartoons, or even my daughter was like YouTube, but it was like little things on YouTube, little shows.
Yeah, kid-friendly things. Yes.
Right. It was just. But now you got TikTok, like everybody. It's crazy what's going on. It's insane.
It is now. It's a different kind of raising platform. It's not what you used to put them in front of Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street or whatever, and you would get a moral out of that show. Oftentimes there was some good moral you could get out of it. Not now.
Right. Or even if the other thing is, you got to be really pay attention because the kids can start out on something, you'll gabba, but end up with something about polyamorous relationships.
True.
It's crazy. You got to really watch what they're watching because it usually starts out fine. But then these kids are so tech savvy, they know things that you don't know.
Oh, definitely.
I knew a girl who worked for a some thing they gave tablets to school. They had these educational tablets. But the kids were doing something where they could turn it to the side and hold a button and push something and open it up and get on the internet.
Oh, wow.
And it went around they had a whole bunch of firewalls installed so they couldn't. And the kids outdid them every time. She said every time they got a way to get, so they can get to YouTube or TikTok, the things they wanted to go to.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, we got to be careful. So and that's what I said, and the kids are so much older than their years today because they have all these other things they can watch and see and learn. So kids, like, I know, they think they're peers. They be 10 years old and they're talking to you like you're a peer. Like, we're not on the same level.
Right.
They even try to act like sometimes their experience, their little 10 years of life outdoes your experience, and you've been here a lot longer.
Yes.
And they will say things like, I've been doing this all my life. All your life? 9 years?
Like, you don't know no better, huh? Right. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
It's tough, and it's really tough and that's why we can't let what parents do is, you sit the tablet. Every kid has a tablet, phone, something, and they know how to use that thing. And you don't know what they're looking at because when you come on, they close it out.
Yep.
And they go right back on, whatever it is. So you definitely have to. I think sometimes we do think kids don't know a lot too, and that's the other thing. We don't make that mistake.
Yes.
The kids know.
Yes.
They probably know about it. They know about it. They, like, oh, little Johnny don't know anything about that. He does.
Yeah.
He does.
And if not, two of his peers do, so they can tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't know what they know. They know what they think. So it's not the actual thing. That's why you have to know what your kids are into, so you can kind of talk to and explain to them what it really is. Like, you can't be afraid to talk to. I think a lot of parents are afraid to talk to their kids. Oh, they're too young. They're too this. They're not. And I heard a guy talking about it today. He's like, well, when did your kids learn not to touch the stove? As soon as you could. You didn't wait to teach them about this type of stuff. You have to teach them some safety things earlier than later. You can't wait because sometimes it'll be too late. You really have to talk to your kids at their level. I mean, you can't be, talking.
No, it has to be level.
Age
it appropriate is what I mean. Yes.
Right. But you do have to be able to, and I think if you start open and honest conversation with your kids earlier, it'll benefit you later.
Very true. Very true.
I agree. Some things you're right. Parents kind of wait for the right time.
Right. Because sometimes they're embarrassed about it. They're embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I think you have to do things like for me, everything I could for my daughter, just everything I could. I think one of the best things I did, I think she was 4 or 5. I put her in a sex education therapy. And it was really good because it taught her a lot of things, taught me a lot of things. But then when I see her use it, I'm like, okay, this is really good. When I see her use it, when I see like things that are happening with her friends that, not that it's out of malice or anything bad. Like the one little girl was showing she had little breasts. I got little breasts. And my daughter's like, put them away. Okay.
Go ahead, daughter.
Came downstairs. She's like, Dad, the girl upstairs showing her breast to everybody. And I'm like, okay. And I told her mom, like, hey, listen, it's probably nothing, but I would talk to her about it because in certain situations, you don't know who's around. Because again, a lot of times kids get touched by the kids. You think it's only girls in the room. They're okay. No, it's one of them in there is a pervert and they're doing things. Right. So if your kid doesn't know what to say or what to do, they can fall victim to it.
That's true.
Right.
Very true.
So you're thinking that it's okay. They're young, they're 5, but we don't know what's going on in the other kids' home. Right. We don't know what's going on in their home.
Right. And
this is why it's so important to know your kids' friends and their family
and their homes. You are so right. I used to let my kids go and visit with a friend. Then they would come home doing these weird, odd things, like drinking milk out of the carton or whatever they saw the little kid doing. I was like, no, that's not okay for here.
Right.
But that's what they thought was okay because their friends were allowed to do it when they were having play dates.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'm telling you, that's very important too. Know who your children are around.
Yeah.
I'm in all my daughter's friends. I know them. I be in their YouTubes. I be in their phone.
That's right.
I be in
That's
school.
right.
They be like, he the cool dad. Yeah, I am cool. Come watching you. Okay. Where's your mom and dad? Where's your mom and dad so I can watch them too? But I don't let my daughter go anywhere. So she ain't going to anybody's house. I just don't trust anyone's home.
This day and time.
All the kids, all the kids can come here. You can come here. The kids come here all the time. House full of kids all the time.
Agreed.
No problem. Everybody can come. If the parents want to come stay, y'all can stay. I don't care. You need a break. I'm fine because I know you're here.
I like that.
I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know other people's house because sometimes it might not be them, but who they have around them.
Yes.
Who their friends are.
Yes.
Who's coming over to see them may be an animal that no one knows. So sometimes that is the issue for me.
You are so right.
Right. So
and does that move into the realm of sleepovers, Daryl, too? Because they can't sleep over everywhere.
Sleepovers where? My daughter's not sleep over anywhere. What are we talking about? She knows already. She'd be like, yeah, my dad ain't allowing me to do that. He a helicopter parent. I'm like, you got a name for it? How you know helicopter parent? What's that mean? I had to look it up myself. And I am.
That means you're hoovering over.
Right there the whole time. So
yeah,
she knows. But they can stay here. Her friends can stay here. Everybody, I don't have a problem with that. Because I trust me, okay? I know who to trust. I trust me.
I know that's right.
Yes.
When my daughter was little, she would hate that I wouldn't let her stay places.
Me either.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
And she hated that I had to meet everybody.
Yes.
Meet her parents, her friends' parents.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Listen.
Sometimes they hold on to that up into their young adulthood. Drake will bring up stuff and say, "I was the only kid that couldn't ride my bike all the way around the block like everybody else." I'm like,
yeah,
guy, you're 20 something now. Stop.
I'm like, hey, Drake, and you don't need therapy for something happening to you.
Thank you. I was always watching you. Thank you.
Right. I'd rather be overprotective than when she's 20 have a story that I know about at Gail's house.
That's true.
What's up, Jay? I'm trying to tell him, Jay. Trying to tell him.
One thing D gonna do is tell us.
Yes, but it is. I'm trying to find a balance because I don't want to be over because like I'm so much over her, she can't even fall because I'm there to catch her. She can't.
Guilty. I did it.
She
Yep.
can't even scrape her knee because she need to learn how to scrape
Yeah.
her knee.
Yeah.
But
that's
so
why
I
we
am
talk about
overprotective.
That's it.
independence is a part of that. Learning
Right.
how to individuate. We talked about that a long time ago on relationship flow. You know how to
Right.
individuate and be their own person.
But you're right. That's a balance. It's very intricate and it's very hard to achieve.
It is
Very
because
hard.
It's a fear for me. Like
Mhm.
she'll go in the dressing room to change, and in my mind, somebody in the back trying to steal her. So I'm like, you all right?
You know what? But I can understand that.
Yes,
That's
yes.
me. I'm
understand
trying
that.
to get better.
Hey, look, when my daughter was, I guess she was about maybe 11 or 12, I bought walkie-talkies because she wanted to experience walking to the store by herself.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I bought walkie-talkies, and I would, hey, you're all right, over.
No,
Where
I'm
you
not
at?
mad at you. That's right.
Are you in line?
right.
Over.
That's right.
Walkie-talkies, yes.
So-
I think
so
she
I-
was the only kid with the two-way pager
Walkie-talkie?
in middle school.
That's
Oh.
right. I'm with you, Doc. Did
I
it
thought she
all.
was selling drugs. Teacher thought she was selling drugs.
Why you beeping?
Like, no, I just want her to be safe.
7th grade. That's my mom, y'all. That's my mom.
My mom's the dealer. My mom.
So I did let my daughter and my niece and my cousin walk to the store. I just followed them in the car. They didn't know I just followed them.
Yep.
And
I've
then,
done it all. Mm-hmm.
right, I followed them, and then when they got to the store, they came out. I was like, "Hey," they're like, "What?" I was like, "See, you're not even paying attention to your surroundings. You didn't even know I was here. I followed you the whole way. You wasn't
Because
looking. I was
things
dancing and
can
playing."
happen so quick, Daryl. I'm
Right,
telling you,
right,
I was
right,
that
right.
helicopter parent as well, but we sent him to a Sixers camp one time, and Drake ran in to use the bathroom, and somebody was in there and had him do urinate in a bottle for this guy to do some drug test. Just that quick.
What?
Now, this guy could have done anything else to him.
Yes.
You know, and so my
See?
husband went right in there and caught, got Drake out of there, but it was already done.
Right.
So I
That's
was
tough.
like, wow, and we're standing right here.
Right. See, my
They
daughter
was
going
waiting for a
homeschool from
kid,
now on.
Waiting for a kid.
with a kid, some clean urine.
Yes, it was.
Hey, thanks a lot. Now my daughter gonna be homeschooled. forever. Thanks, Ruth.
That was,
And
that
never
was
go-
many
She
moons ago,
will
right?
never go to a public bathroom again.
Daryl, that was many moons ago.
Hey, you better hold it. You better hold it.
I'm so sorry for your child. I messed it up.
Thanks a lot, Ruth.
But
Thanks
that's
a lot.
how quick. No, but that's how quick it can happen.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You could be
absolutely.
right there monitoring.
Right. And
That's the
I'm
world
telling
we
you,
live
that's how I feel. I just get nervous if I don't see her in the store. I get nervous, like anxiety. Like, yeah, she's like, I'm right here. Like, all right.
Daryl, you're going to have to find that balance because, again,
you
it's
gotta
a
find the
good
balance.
thing, but then it can work against you and your kid can grow up
Oh, absolutely.
like mine
absolutely.
and buy a house at the corner from you. You
What's
need to
wrong with
find that balance.
Ruth, what's wrong with that?
Everything.
Sound like a good thing to me. That's like a good thing. So you say if I keep doing it, she's gonna move next door. Oh, it's working. It's working.
Be careful what you wish for, guy.
That's the goal. Ruth,
Now
you're talking about the goal.
we have to watch him, in the neighborhood. Close the blinds. Here he comes.
Why are you closing the blind? I'm waving.
It might work for you, Daryl. It might. It just might work for you. Thin line.
But yeah, it's tough. I'm trying, and like I said, now that she's getting older and wants more independence,
Yes.
I'm trying to give. But it now, you're so used to her not really needing it. So the
Mhm.
last couple of years has been little by little wanting more and more, and now it's like the door is shut and locked. I'm like, you good in there? Yes. I was here talking to our friends, and I feel bad and lonely.
It'll
now,
balance. It will balance. It will
Like,
balance.
somebody stole my best friend.
Aw. Balance out. Hang in there.
I try, but it's tough.
It
That's
is
tough.
very
But-
tough. Very
But
tough.
I do think, and we'll get back to parenting. When you parent, whatever kids you have over, you can't just rely on them being all boys or girls and think that everything will be fine.
Nope.
No, I think a lot of times it's that setting where things happen.
Mhm.
A lot of times. I hear a lot of stories like, yeah, it was my best friend and we had sleepovers, and then she was in doing whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And
It's so important for your children to understand body safety. So
Yes.
important.
Right. And I said I didn't have the words. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. So like I said, I feel good that she kind of has the words and she knows the
And
skills.
she has that relationship with you that she will share with you. That's the thing.
Right. That's the other
She
thing.
will share
Right.
with you.
And listen, I'm gonna tell you, parents, it's tough sometimes hearing some stuff they have to say. But
Oh,
you
yes.
have to remain. Your affect has to be, keep it nice and friendly, and you can't make faces like, "Ooh, what you say?" Because you do that, they're never gonna tell you again. That's it. It's over.
Right.
You fucked
That's
up.
right.
You messed up.
That's true.
You have to. You a lot of times I have to like, okay, I'm gonna read back. I'm going to my room and scream in the pillow. Like, no, no.
Yes, you have to maintain your composure. You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Right.
You
Poker
do.
face. Poker
Because
face.
you want them to talk to you. Like I love my daughter being able to talk to me. And again, remember, they're not going to tell you everything, but I hope she tells me a lot.
What needs to be told. Yep.
Right.
She
And
will.
still, I don't put anything past her. I hate when people are like, I know my kid, they would never shut up. You don't know if they would. They might.
Right.
Just don't
right.
unilaterally say they didn't do anything. Reason I do that, I don't want to ever get in the habit of looking past something because you're biased.
And they're human. Right. Yes. They're human.
Right. And they're still growing. They're young. So you don't want to be like, they would never. Well, I would hope they would never. We're going to talk to them about it and find out. But I'm not going to say they, they would parents say, my kid would never. How do you know? You don't know.
Yes, they might. They might.
Right.
So I put this up because when we're doing evaluations and we're looking at parenting skills, we're looking at these areas here. Whether or not you are empathetic, if you know anything about child development, so that you can, if your child is appropriately developing or if they're doing things that or not doing things that they should be doing in their age, at their age. We look at your beliefs about corporal punishment. We look at whether or not you know the difference between the roles for a child and the roles for an adult. And if you know anything about fostering power and independence in your children.
Gotcha.
Good point.
I think a lot of people sometimes that a lot of kids are parentified, or parents don't know the difference. And they just have them being an whole adult when they shouldn't be. Forcing them to be the other parent almost sometimes, which is it's tough on the child because they don't know any better sometimes. But you're robbing them of their childhood almost at times.
And you're right, especially young parents, and not all young parents. Some of them are very appropriate, but there are some young parents who, like you said, their child is more like their partner or their peer, and the roles are so. The lines are crossed,
intermingled,
and the child doesn't get to be in the child's place.
Yep.
So those are the things that we often look for to see whether or not you are able to parent appropriately.
Makes sense.
Family role. So how with the power independence part, like what do you ask a parent to know?
Well, we ask them questions like giving kids choices. Saying things like, because I said so. Are you able to let your child make their own decisions? And appropriately, in an appropriate area. Do you pick everything? There are some parents that won't even let their kids pick a box of cereal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they have no power. They still
none.
They just long for the ride. Right.
And those kids turn into adults that don't know how to make choices.
Yes.
Oftentimes. Not always, but oftentimes.
Exactly.
And I think that some parents, you need to ask yourself, like, the things you're doing, how's that gonna look later for the child?
That's the piece. Yes. We think